This video contains subject matter that may be offensive and disturbing to some people. If you are the type to require a warning throughout a video or show, let this message serve as your warning. This channel discusses the harsh reality of true crime. If this warning is not sufficient for you, consider a different genre and unsubscribe from my channel immediately. What I should have done was done my robot. Now, let's see. Let me go back to that. Hold on. Alright, we're over here, and then we go... Hold on a second. We're right there, and then we go... There you go. There you go. I know you guys were missing the robot, so why not, you know? Draybot 9000. Yeah, well, I'm just doing a later show tonight because I tried to go play golf today. And, yeah, I mean, it was... started off absolutely horrible. It was kind of one of the weirdest scoring rounds I've ever had. Because I started off, I went double bogey, because I haven't played in 5 months. I just picked up clubs and swung them, you know, it was like, and I was just chunking shot. I mean, it was just terrible. But I went double bogey, double bogey, double bogey. Then I went birdie, par, 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 par. And then double bogey, par, double bogey. Yeah, you know, you want to hear something crazy? Is I had 6 double bogeys, which is, you know, shitty. Like a bogey isn't even good, but 6 double bogeys, a birdie, and let's see, what was that? 11 pars and a bogey. You know, so the thing is, I was going to tell people, hey, I was bogey free today because I didn't get any bogeys. And on the last hole, I hit a good drive, and then I was going to go for the green in 2 on a par 5, and I hit it way up there, but the wind sort of magnified the fade, and the ball rolled into the water up near the green. So the fairway was short, so I go, maybe I'll just putt this from here. But I left it woefully short, still out in the fairway, so I'm hitting my 5th shot with the ball, and I putted it again, went onto the green, rolled right up to the hole, and it went like in the hole and hit the flat. You know, it was just ridiculous. It trickled out about a foot. You know, so I ended up getting a bogey. That was my only bogey of the day. Was on the last hole. But it was weird how I almost got another par again. You know. But anyways, so I ended up with 84, which is, you know, it's not great, but it's not horrible for getting 6 double bogeys. I mean, that's so basically I was even on all the other 12 holes. So that's pretty good. Yeah, well, you guys should learn the words and the meaning of golf, okay? It's not difficult. It's one of the easiest things in the world to understand. Very simple. What am I looking at, Anthony? You said look at. What am I looking at? Yeah, it was weird. I could tell. I mean, like, just simple shots that I normally can do. I couldn't even do at the beginning, and then I just kind of figured it out. Yeah. But I'm pretty tired, actually. But I know the freaks rely on having a show, so here I am. Anyways. Yeah. Yeah, but it's on television all the time. So basically, I'll tell you really quick and just really, like, pretend like you give a shit and listen to it for a second. Is in golf, there are par 3s, par 4s, and par 5s. And all that means is that on a par 3, you get 3 shots to get into the hole to get, par, right? Then on a par 4, you get 4 shots to get it into the hole from the tee box all the way into the hole, right? Then on a par 5, you get 5. Now, what your goal is to try to do it in less shots on each hole. So if it's a par 3 and you get it in 2, that's a birdie. On the par 4, if you get it in 3, that's a birdie. If you get it in a par 5 and 4, it's a birdie. Right? So that's 1 under on each of those holes. 1 under par. Does that make sense to you guys? Hey, thanks, Eugenie. Does that make sense, what I just said? Because it was really simple, and the only reason you wouldn't get it is if you weren't paying attention. It's not like a really complicated thing. Right, so there's 3s, par 4s, and par 5s. Par is just what they set for you to get it into the hole. If you do better, that's when you see a player that's -7 or something. That means throughout the entire 18-hole round, he was 7 better than what par was designated to be for the 9 holes. So you add them all up, for the 18 holes. So it's usually 72 shots for the entire round. You add the 3s and the 4s and the 5s, and there's 18 holes of them. And then it usually is, par 72. So if you get it, if it only takes you 65 shots, then it's 7 under. Right, so what I'm saying is on the first 3 holes today, I was 2 over what they give you on all 3 of those, and 6 times I was 2 over on holes, but I ended up on the other 12 holes I was even. So I got par on the average on those. So if you get a bogey, now you're 1 over, so now you need a birdie to get back to par. See, and then if you get it on a par 5 in 3 shots, that's 2 under. It's an eagle. And on a par 5, if you get it in on the second shot, there's people who've done that, where you hit a drive and then just hammer a ball from 250 yards out and it rolls into the hole somehow. That is a albatross, which is 3 under par on 1 hole. It's pretty crazy, right? Excellent! Yay! You guys are experts now. Is that awesome or what? Yeah, it's not a boogie, a bogey. Yeah. A boogie's something that's up your nose. Okay. So anyways, does that make sense now? Like, just in the really basic sense? I mean, that's what golf is. That's all you're trying to do is you try to learn a variety of shots to account for a whole bunch of different situations, so that you can still maintain a low score, even, so there you go. Even when you're, handed some garbage. All right, there you go, everybody. You are all awesome now. Yeah, I mean, my round wasn't great. I usually shoot in the, mid 70s to lower 80s, so I was like 84, but to have that many shitty holes after 6 months, 5 months of not playing, and then to actually have 12 really, pretty good. I mean, if I had just played just get 1 double maybe and 4 or 5 bogeys, man, that would have been a good score. But fortunately, that's not what happened. That's what everybody says after a round of golf. If I had only. If I had only, oh man, I should have, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. It was pretty fun. It was always fun hanging out with those guys. I got a hole-in-one a couple years ago. It was funny, but when I got the hole-in-one, I was on the tee box, and my friend said, "Man, this looks like a hole we should get a hole-in-one on this thing." It was like, it was only about 135 yards, par 3, but it was over a hill and down. And he said, "Wow, we should get a hole-in-one," or it was just totally random comment. And then I hit it. Right when I hit the ball, it felt so pure. I said, "Like this one?" I literally said it out loud. I said, "Like this one," right as I hit it. I go, "Like this one?" And then it flying right at it, bounces, and apparently it went in because they all went, "Oh my God, it went in!" And they were running around. I go, "What are you talking about?" Because I couldn't see it. I don't know why I couldn't see it, but I didn't believe it until I got up there and looked in there. But it was cool to actually, call it, like right when I hit the ball, I went, because it felt so perfect. Isn't that weird? It's like that in basketball too. Like I was a really good 3-point shooter. When I was 13 years old, I made 65 out of 100 NBA 3-pointers, and I got better and better and better as I got older. And I would there would be these games where, like Steph Curry, you always see that where he shoots the ball, and when it's in the air, he's running the other way. Because you just know, man. There's just this weird feeling, groove that you get in, the zone, and you just know right then, bam. You don't even have to watch. So yeah, you don't get into that zone too much, but he seems to get into it almost every single night. It's crazy. Yeah. But yeah, I know this show's late, but it's just like every other show, you guys. So we're going to be doing hopefully be able to, spin. There were some people that came in late yesterday and sent a PayPal late, so they're on the spin right now. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, like 6 people on the spin. Yeah. Basketball is the best. I think it's the best sport. Especially when it's team basketball. I hate the way everything's now. You sort of throw the ball to somebody, they jab, step, do all these crazy. It's all one-on-one bullshit crap, But when you're got a team of everybody moving around and just really, it's just so awesome. It's the greatest feeling in the world when you're playing. When you got a good team basketball team, that everybody's playing on the same wavelength. It's always when you get that one ball hog guy, that's when it ruins every team. The guy that just needs it every time. And it's funny how those are the guys that always average 35 points. Everybody goes, wow. But you look at their shooting percentage, and it's like 35%. Well, that means you could have just given the ball to everybody else and shot those and maybe even done better, okay? Guy just a ball hog, get 35 points. Yeah, that's great. Thanks, Jessica Schubach. Yeah. Westbrook's one of those. He gets a lot of assists, but like in the NBA, there's these assists that I call assists of attrition. Like somebody's dribbling, like Lillard, on the Blazers. I mean, he's an amazing shooter and everything. I don't know if he's the greatest team basketball player though. That's the thing. But he's one of the, he'll get like 6 or 7 assists a game, and people go, "See, that's pretty good." Well, I don't think it is. I think when you have a player that's just pounding nails into the floor all game, eventually he's going to throw it to somebody that makes a jump shot, and that's an assist. I like the point guards that make the pass itself is what created the layup. Like they actually created, like Magic Johnson, for God's sakes. That guy was incredible. Like anybody could play with that guy, run around, and he'll give you a pass where, oh my God, I got a layup. Not like at the last second you throw it to somebody. Hey, thank you, the Velvet Army. Oh, a late night wave. That'd be great. Yeah. Yeah, it is kind of late. Well, that's my sports for the evening. Yeah, Steve Nash was like that. What the hell is that one guy's name? There's a bunch of players. You know, John Stockton was really good. I think Magic Johnson's the best. I think if I was going to start a team with everybody that's played, I would have him first, even over Jordan or anybody. That guy was... You could take 5 scrubs and he would turn them into good players. And man, that guy could do anything. 6'9", point guard, played center. I mean, he could just do anything. Yeah. Well, thanks for the try there, the Velvet Army. Let's see. So we got, there was an update on one of these cases that we were talking about the other night. Yeah, I mean, Jordan was a ball hog, you know, like, he was a good defensive player, but he just liked to shoot all the time. And Magic Johnson was completely the opposite. So I remember that one case the other night where you had a Jimmy J. Lee. I remember it was something about, like, you know, she or I don't know if this person's transgender or not, but it's Jimmy J. Lee, but I think they are. But a man was arrested and remember he was going over to an apartment and just disappeared. A man was arrested and charged with the murder of 20-year-old University of Mississippi student Jimmy J. Lee, whose remains have not been found since going missing on July 8th. Sheldon Timothy Harrington, Jr., 22, was arrested by the Oxford Police Department and the University of Mississippi Police Department. Oxford Police said the investigation is ongoing and has asked for the public's help in the case. If anyone knows anything or sees anything, say something. Contact law enforcement. Just tell them what you know. This is my plea. Lee's car was found on July 11th at a local towing company after it was towed from Molly Bar. Yeah, remember that? The Molly Bar Trails apartment complex. The 2014 black Ford Fusion with a gold racing stripe down the middle of the hood has a license plate JLE1. It was taken to Mississippi State Crime Laboratory for processing, police said at the time. Police believe Lee was visiting someone who lives in Molly Bar Trails before disappearing. Well, maybe that was that guy. In social media posts reviewed by CNN and images released by authorities, although Lee dresses in women's clothing and makeup in some pictures and videos, Lee writes that he identifies as a gay male. Okay. So a cross-dressing gay male. I don't know. I think it's, you know, I think he's, I mean, what do you call that? Like, if you're gay and then you dress up as a female, doesn't that kind of make you, like, you're attracted to men? I mean, the thing is, it's all about identification when you pick when you're transgender, you merely identify, but it has nothing to do with sexuality. So, that's one of those weird ones. You know, it's like Caitlyn Jenner, right? Now, Caitlyn Jenner's Bruce Jenner was attracted to females, right? So when Bruce Jenner decided to identify as being a female, Bruce Jenner is now Caitlyn Jenner, but is still attracted to females. So now, though, since he since she is identifying as a female, he's now, or she, see, I can't even do it. She's now considered a lesbian, right? Because she's a female who's now attracted to women. So Caitlyn Jenner is a transgender lesbian. That's true, right? It's not like she became a transgender and was attracted to males now. Because that would be like a heterosexual transgender. Man, see how crazy how hard it is to work through these things? Now this guy right here he's attracted to males, but then he likes to dress up as a woman. So wouldn't that sort of necessarily almost mean that he is identifying, but he doesn't really know that yet? Or I don't get that part. Yeah, it is really confusing. It's very difficult. I mean, and it's weird too because I mean, I can think through it logically. It just, you get to a point where it just doesn't make a lot of sense. Man arrested in Mississippi college student's disappearance. So that's another one. Sheldon Timothy Harrington Jr., 22, of Grenada, was arrested on a charge of murder. So they got him on murder already, and they haven't found him, but they believe that this guy murdered him. Oxford police said the University of Mississippi announced his arrest Friday, 2 weeks after Lee was last seen leaving an apartment complex. Harrington is being held without bond. Although he has been charged with a serious crime, he is presumed innocent. We will vigorously defend him and look forward to clearing his name. More confirmed. I don't know. Right. I bet you he won't be cleared. Yeah, well, that's where it gets really confusing. Well, I don't know. I don't really care what Caitlyn Jenner had done or not. I mean, what I said was Caitlyn Jenner is a transgender lesbian. Isn't that the correct term? Because transgender just means that you identify as another sexuality, has nothing to do with sexuality. Being a lesbian means it is sexual. It means that you're, attracted to other women, right? So, in this case, he is a male that is identified as a female who is now attracted to other females, like he was before when he was a male. Like when he was a male, he was attracted. He was heterosexual. Now he's a lesbian because now he's identifying as a female. I think that's correct. Is that not accurate, what I'm saying? Is anybody more knowledgeable about it? Yeah. That's some weird shit, man. I wasn't even talking to you, though, Rainbow. Oh, the one up above, yeah. I believe since he... but why? Here's the thing. I think gay men that dress in drag probably are transgender. They just don't know that that's what they are. Okay? That's what I think. I think they just don't know that yet. They're identifying. That's what they feel comfortable wearing, the clothing and so forth. What would the difference be, I guess? Yeah. Hey, Lillian, what's going on? Yeah, you might have been able to help us out there, Lillian. We were talking about Caitlyn Jenner, right? Like Caitlyn, this is just randomly because there's this case we were just talking about here with this guy named, hold on. This guy right here, well, he says he's attracted to guys, and this is a guy, and he dresses like a woman, but he doesn't say that he's transgender. He just says that he's gay and likes to dress as a female. And then we were talking about Bruce Jenner, or how he became Caitlyn Jenner because he identified as being a female, but he's still attracted to women like he was when he was Bruce. So the thing is then I think he becomes a transgender lesbian because now he's a female attracted to other females. It gets really crazy. Oh, yeah? Huh. Interesting. I just don't see what the difference would be. Like, if you're actually... but the difference is, Rainbow Zen Kitty, is your guy was attracted to females, right? So if you're a transvestite male that likes other men, wouldn't it be more likely that you're actually transgender, but you just don't realize it yet? Oh, I didn't really... I got the phone on. I was going to keep going through other stuff, though, at this point. But let me turn it on. All right, there it is. Those are the numbers, but... What do you mean, for real, for real? What does that mean? Tony Lee. She hadn't said anything yet. I don't even know who you're talking about. Rainbow Zen Kid. Oh, I don't even know. But you got married to him? I mean, I don't even understand your whole sentence there. It's weird. Like you're confusing me too. Yeah. Man, what a confusing start to a show, huh? Wow. Alright, anyways, that was that. And then we got the Kierra Coles here. New clues in the case of missing pregnant postal worker Kierra Coles. Man, we talked about this one a long time ago. This is an old, 2018. Remember, she was a postal worker that was pregnant, but they had the wrong surveillance footage of her. Hold on. All right. Hello, you gotta unmute yourself. Hello.
Hey, Gray, how are you?
Not too bad. How are you doing?
I'm doing better today. I feel much better.
Well, good.
But I clicked on and I heard that, and when you said, "Oh, maybe you could help us out, Gray," I have been a gay woman as far as I can remember when you didn't even know what it was. But I got to tell you, all this stuff confuses me. I don't understand a lot of it. All I know is, for me, I knew what I wasn't comfortable with, and I knew what I was at a very young age, but all this stuff today, I can't keep up with it. And I guess now that I'm 72, I don't really have to worry too much about it now,
Yeah.
you know?
Well, everything's different now, too, the society.
Yeah. It's so different. I mean, it really is. But what really confuses me is, well, I don't identify, and Nancy and I talk about it all the time. Well, I don't identify with male or female. Well, then what are you? I mean, and I know I might get remarks from this, but I mean, you're one or the other. Now, back in the day when I was clubbing and before, I was in a relationship before I met Nancy for 18 years, I mean, you either were butcher femme, you were a little more butchier, you played baseball, the femmes wore the makeup, I didn't. And, that's how you could tell the difference. Today, it's not like that. It's different. And it was either you were with a girl or you were with a guy, or guys, girls. And there wasn't too much trans back then, if you know what I mean. There were a few. There was one beautiful one in Philadelphia. Her name was Harlow. She was absolutely gorgeous. And Rachel Harlow. And did she complete the whole sexual thing, Nancy?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, Grace, she was beautiful. And, but, you know, and there were ones that you would call in our day a tourist, because they'd be married, but yet they'd want to try it out and they'd go maybe to a gay club during the weekend, but they weren't really what you would call a gay person. They were just, they'd say, oh, she's a tourist. She only comes here on the weekend when her husband's working. So, I mean, I never flip-flopped like that. I never went from guy to girl because I knew very early on, and it's not like I didn't have little boyfriends in the beginning, but I knew there was something up. I knew that I was different, and I didn't know why. And then when my parents found out, you know, they were wonderful, and my family was wonderful, except for one or two, and they came around. But you know, Gray, it was just different back then, and it's confusing for people. Like with what's her name? What's the one you were just talking about?
Caitlin. Yeah.
Caitlin, yeah. But it's this non-binary thing that gets Nancy and I.
There's all these things. It's like you have the fluid, you know, gender fluid, non-binary.
Yeah, gender fluid.
You know, it's like what is that? Yeah.
Gray, I'm telling you now, I don't know that. That stuff is foreign to me. Gender fluid. What is that? Look, here's how I figure it for me.
I don't know what it is.
I just knew people that were gay, and that was it. You went with a girl or you went with a guy, and that was the end of it. There was no gender fluid. There was no, well, I don't identify with this. Maybe we didn't know what it was back then, but all I know is I know what felt right to me. And the only thing I can say to you, Gray, before I hang up, because I don't have a lot to say about it, when my nieces and nephews, when I had to tell them, I was worried because I loved them, and I didn't want them hating me or looking down on me because of my lifestyle. And when I told them, they said to me, well, we already knew it. And I said, you did? And they're like, yeah.
Yeah, you're like, man, I should have told you guys a long time ago. Right?
Yeah, it's like, but what I had said to them was, listen, guys, you might not understand it, but I'm just telling you, this is normal for me. You know how you have a girlfriend and you have a boyfriend, or that's normal for you. This is normal for your aunt. And they said, well, I understand because we already knew it. And man, I was sweating it out and they were like my kids, because back then, and here we go today, a lot of gay people, which I give them credit, they all have children, because I went through hell in school where I had to leave and then go back and get my GED. I was put through hell by some of the guys that I didn't want. I had a knife put to my throat. Yeah, seriously. And I mean, I'm not.
I kind of laughed for a second, but I was just laughing at the back right here. It's pretty funny. Nancy's back there.
What? Oh yeah, Nancy's back there.
I can hear her voice. I'm laughing.
Oh yeah, yeah. She. Yeah, it's funny because I just I lost my train of thought. But anyway, it was so cute, and I got to tell you this, and I'm getting off. My mother, God rest her soul, she was 91 when she passed. My dad was 67. My mom said to Nancy and I, she said, Nancy, she said, my daughter, who I love dearly, something happened she turned when she was being born. But your type, you're the girl type, so you can change. Nancy and I looked at one another, and Nancy goes, "Oh, okay, yeah." My mother said, "Yeah, you wear the makeup, and you can change, but my daughter can't." And we just laughed to ourselves, and then we went upstairs. and I said, "What do you think of that?" She said, "God bless her." So that's really all I have to say.
Yeah.
But
well, thank you.
I'm glad I called. I'm glad I called in because, and I don't know if I added anything to it, but you know, Gray, when you get to be a 72-year-old gay person, and back in the day, they called you a word that I can't stand, which was queer. Mm-hmm. Now it's
well, that's actually in there though. Isn't that weird? Like that word is one of the letters in the, you know. Yeah. So what does that mean now, by the way?
I have no clue. You know what, Gray? I said to Nancy, all this damn LGBT crap gets on my nerves. But I guess they'd say to me, I don't know what you are. Well, I know what I am. I've been this way most of my life. Believe me. So anyway, it's a crazy world. It really, really is. But I love the freaks. Yeah. And I love you too, Gray.
All right. Well, we all love you. You're always so cool when you call. I mean, when you call in, it's always interesting. So.
Oh yeah, I don't know. Like I say, if I put much into it, but I'll tell you, I talk from the heart. And that's all I can do. I can only talk from my heart. Yep. And you're a good guy, and what you do for all these, kids is just terrific. And like I said, if I had more, I'd donate more. But
well, no, that's okay. I'm just saying, I just get a lot of grief for the way I do it here. Like, you know, I don't sit here and say, hey, everybody, I'm a charity. Everybody donate money to me as a charity. And then, you know, I have administrative costs. And then, by God, then by the time it gets out there, that's not how it works. It's just really that people want to help support my channel. And at the same time, I'm going to take a large percentage of it and send it into charities, you know. So that's just kind of, and it seems to work really well in terms of the charities, right? I mean, that's like, it's ridiculous. I mean, $88,000 since 2020. I mean, that's nuts.
Right? So. Let me tell you something. Right now. You say it every night to these people because you don't know who's new coming on the channel, but you explain it every single night. And if anybody thinks you're supposed to do this for free, do you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're crazy. This is the work you put into all this, and the fact findings and the deep diving that you do is really, it shows in your work. So you know, it's a shame that you have to say it all the time, but you do. But listen, I hope everybody gets a laugh because I'll tell you what, Greg, what you'll get from me. What? Did you get to play golf, Nancy said?
I did.
He did.
All right, well, thank you.
Well, listen, Gray, here's the thing. Yeah. What you'll get from me is honesty, and I'll tell you right from the heart because I can't be any other way. Yeah. And that's it.
Well, good.
And I love my notebook. I put my notes on there.
All right.
And that's that. And my mugs. And oh, she is crazy.
Does she have,
Greg, I'll see you. All right.
Okay. All right.
All right, Greg. Bye. Bye, freaks.
All right. See you later. Bye-bye. That's hilarious. Nancy's in the background. Maybe they're having a glass of wine tonight. You know, who knows, right? But, hey, thanks, Cindy Lynn. Yep. Get myself a raise. Who just sent that to me? That was always fun having Lillian call in. Regina just sent me an update on the. Remember this one from the other night? The lady that was in a coma for 2 years? And there's the guy, the brother, whatever, but it says West Virginia man who was taken into custody last week for attempting to kill his sister, who recently woke up from a year coma, has died. Daniel J. Palmer, the third, 55, was charged with attempted murder and malicious wounding following the June 2020 assault, which left his sister Wanda attacked, hacked, and left for dead. Jackson County Sheriff Mellinger tells people that Palmer was transported to the Charleston Hospital Wednesday and was pronounced dead the following day. Mellinger believes that his death was most likely due to natural causes. Wow. He probably was like, I'm screwed. It was an avalanche of recurring health issues. Yeah, he doesn't look like a bastion of health there, does he? Thanks, MM. It's an avalanche of recurring health. That's from the investigator's standpoint. It's unfortunate we don't get the chance to see the case through. 2 years ago, Wanda Palmer was found seated on the couch with her head slumped over and at her home near Cottageville, West Virginia. So there you go. There's that one. Thank you, Tawny Lee. I was going to start crunching on an ice cube, but I thought, oh, that's going to be loud. All right, so anyway, this is the Kierra Coles case. Remember the lady that, the black woman who was pregnant and a postal worker, and they put out a surveillance footage that wasn't even her for a long time. It was weird. Let's see what they say.
It involves the case of Kierra Coles, the pregnant postal worker missing since October of 2018.
Tonight, for the first time, a top Chicago police detective sits down with us to talk about the clues, the evidence, and the key to solving this case.
She didn't disappear on her own accord, in my opinion.
Senior homicide detective Will Svilar has studied every moment of the day 26-year-old Kierra Coles was last seen. And Chicago police have now released a video timeline. The pregnant postal worker called her mom as she shopped for baby supplies on the afternoon of Tuesday, October 2nd, 2018.
She was just so excited she didn't even know what to get.
No sign that anything was wrong.
No sign.
That was the last conversation Karen Phillips ever had with her daughter. A short time later, you see Kierra carrying her shopping bags into her apartment building in the 8100 block of South Vernon. That evening, Detective Svilar says she left in her car with a man they call a person of interest.
Is she driving or is the man?
She is driving.
They went to a 24-hour Walgreens at 8600 South Cottage Grove. And the security tape shows her withdrawing hundreds of dollars from an ATM machine. Very unusual for Kierra, her mother says, especially at 10:43 on a Chicago night.
I don't understand why she'd be taking $400.
That's right, we saw that
because she
recently.
real cautious with spending.
This was the last time Kierra Coles was ever seen. Police say the evidence shows the man drove her car back to her neighborhood alone and parked down the street before 11:45 that night and got out on the passenger side of the car.
Why would he get out of the passenger seat?
Yeah.
I can only speculate. It's not like you're opening a car into traffic. My speculation is he's staging the seat.
Perhaps sliding the driver's seat forward by hand to make it look like Kierra had been driving.
Well, why not just
Police
do that?
say
That
he
doesn't
then
make
walked
any
to
sense.
another car parked nearby and drove
I
away.
mean, why wouldn't you just step out of the car, slide it forward, and shut it? Or would he knew that he was going to be on surveillance? I don't know. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Let me do this again.
ATM machine. Very unusual for Kierra, her mother says, especially at 10:43 on a Chicago night.
I don't understand why she'd be taking $400 out because she real
Thanks,
cautious
Lou.
with spending.
This was the last time Kierra Coles was ever seen. Police say the evidence shows the man drove her car back to her neighborhood alone and
So when was that though?
parked down the street before 11:45 that night and got out on the passenger side of the car.
Why would he get out of the passenger seat?
I can only speculate. It's not like you're opening a car into traffic.
Let me think. Yeah, it might be maybe clean, wiped from the inside, wiped everything down on that side or something. Because and then got out that side, because I guess if you went out that side and you tried to clean, it would take too long to clean it while you're standing in the street. So he's over there wiping things down. Maybe he did slide the seat forward too, but he wiped everything down, got his fingerprints off of everything, spent a lot of time wiping down the steering wheel and everything like that, and sort of wiped his way out the passenger side, because exiting the front, opening the door and sitting there for 10 minutes while you're wiping things is going to stand out, right? But if you're over in the passenger seat, reached over and you're wiping things down, fixing everything, and then you kind of back your way out, like how you vacuum a room almost, right? That makes more sense than saying, oh, I think he slid the seat and then got out. Because you could just get out the door, slide the seat, and then you're gone in like 2 seconds. To me, it seems like he's in there cleaning and doing things. That's a weird one. That's a weird one.
My speculation is he's staging the seat.
Perhaps sliding the driver's seat forward by hand to make it look like Kierra had been driving. Police say he then walked to another car parked nearby and drove away.
Wow.
His car?
Yes.
Same person of interest?
Yes.
Though this is still officially a missing person case, Svilar is a homicide
That's a weird
detective
one.
who's worked hundreds of murder cases since
Why did
1998.
she go into that?
Do you think whatever happened was over in less than 1 hour?
Yes. I think the last time we see Kierra, she is unfortunately not alive much longer after that.
Still,
Why, though?
Svilar emphasizes there's always
Why
a
didn't she
I think
tell
the last
somebody?
time we see Kierra,
Svilar is a homicide
Do you think whatever
detective who's worked hundreds of murder cases since
I'm trying to see what she's
1998.
doing. In
Do you
there.
think whatever happened was over in less than 1 hour?
yes. I think the last time we see Kierra, she is unfortunately not alive.
I think she's right there. She's contemplating something. She's up to kind of going like, yeah, oh man, geez. You know, what's going on?
Last time we see Kierra, she is unfortunately not alive much longer after that.
Still, Svilar
Or that
emphasizes
was a
there's
phone,
always
maybe.
a chance Kierra could be alive. As for the person of interest, police say he returned to Kierra's apartment alone the next morning and left with some items in hand.
This person that we're referring to is not a stranger. This person has access to this apartment all the time. Is it unusual for him to go in there? No, it's not. In the totality of circumstances,
you know it is then, right?
considering what has happened probably the night before, yeah, that's a big deal.
Chicago police have never named the person of
Thanks,
interest, but
Liz
Kieran
Marie.
Phillips says he is Josh Simmons, Kierra's boyfriend and presumed father of her unborn child.
That's it, man.
NBC5
the
investigates
answer.
found no criminal history in his past.
Karen Phillips reported her daughter missing the night after the ATM.
I mean, there could be like, you know, I mean, hate to say it, but I mean, nowadays, who knows, man, with the sex trafficking. You know, I don't know, but she's pregnant. It just sounds like he didn't want to deal with that. Weirdly. I mean, she, you know,
withdrawal.
she's
and
very
says she
pretty.
was
And
there
that guy looks
with
like a cave
This
troll.
person has access to this apartment all the time. Is it unusual for him to go in there? No, it's not. In the totality of circumstances, considering what has happened probably the night before, yeah, that's a big deal.
Chicago police have never named the person of interest, but Kieran Phillips says he is Josh Simmons, Kierra's boyfriend and presumed father of her unborn child. NBC5 investigates found no criminal history in his past.
Karen Phillips reported her daughter missing the night after the ATM withdrawal and says she was there with Simmons as police searched the apartment.
Did you ask if he'd seen her?
Yeah, he said he hadn't seen her, but he'd been talking to her, which found out that was a lie.
He gave some conflicting accounts, wasn't consistent on some of his statements, and then didn't want to talk to us anymore.
Simmons soon moved out of state with the mother of some of his children. He did not respond to our written request for comment, mailed to his last known address in Louisiana.
What do you want to say to Josh Simmons?
I want to say that I know you know something. You know what happened. You don't know the
So
pain
he's the one
I
that was
feel
driving the
not
car,
knowing
right?
What's going on
So he
with
knows.
my child. And I wish you would come
You
forward
need to go arrest the
and
guy.
tell us what really happened to Kierra.
If you have any information about the disappearance of Kierra Coles, contact Chicago police.
Pain that I feel not knowing what's going on with my child. And I wish you would come forward and tell us what really happened to
Do you think she's got a phone there, or what?
Kierra.
If you have any information about the disappearance of Kierra
weird.
Coles, contact Chicago police at 833-408.
That's such a weird story, because she is absolutely alone and alive, going in there to withdraw money. And what sort of coercion could there have been by the person in the car, like a threat against her family or something, for her to go in there by herself? See, the person knew that they didn't want to be on camera when she got that money because he was going to kill her right after that, and knew that he would be the suspect. He wasn't sure, you know, the other stuff, he wasn't, he knew that they'd find her car at some point, so he maybe adjusted some things in there, tried to make it look like she just disappeared somewhere. But man, well, that's a weird one when you're by yourself, walking in somewhere, like you could have said something to somebody. That's a weird.
0069 or 312-746-7330 or online at cpdtip.com.
It's bizarre. And then he went to her apartment.
Now we get to that breaking news
and
in
took some stuff. Man, that's crazy. Is that the one?
Chicago police have now released a video timeline. The pregnant postal worker called her mom as she shopped for baby supplies on the afternoon of Tuesday, October 2nd, 2018.
She was just so excited she didn't.
Postal worker missing since October of 2018.
We didn't
Tonight,
just
for the
watch
first
this,
time,
right?
a top
That's different,
Chicago
right?
police detective sits down with us to talk about the clues, the evidence, and the key to solving this case.
She didn't disappear on her own accord, in my opinion.
Maybe,
Senior
maybe it took
homicide detective Will Svilar has studied every
Who the hell
moment
knows
of
what
the
he
day
took, Will? Come on.
26-year-old Kierra Coles was last seen. And Chicago police have now released a video timeline. The pregnant postal worker called her mom as she shopped for baby supplies on the afternoon of Tuesday, October 2nd, 2018.
She was just so excited she didn't even know what to get.
no sign that anything was wrong.
No sign.
That was the last conversation Karen Phillips ever had with her daughter. A short time later, you see Kierra carrying her shopping bags into her apartment building in the 8100 block of South Vernon. That evening, Detective Svilar says she left in her car with a man they call a person of interest.
Is she driving or is the man?
She is driving.
They went to a 24-hour
This is the same
Walgreens
one,
at
right?
8600 South Cottage Grove.
I just want to watch
And the
it
security
again.
tape shows her withdrawing hundreds of dollars from an ATM machine.
Yeah, she just-
Very unusual for Kierra, her mother says,
not under-
especially at 10:43 on a Chicago night.
I don't understand why she'd be taking $400 out.
Ever had with her daughter. A short time later, you see Kierra carrying her shopping bags into her apartment building in the 8100 block of South Vernon. That evening, Detective Svilar says she left in her car with a man they call a person of interest.
Is she driving or is the man?
She is driving.
They went to a 24-hour Walgreens at
What was the
8600
name of that
South
address?
Cottage Grove.
Hold on a second.
And there, you see Kierra carrying her shopping bags into her apartment building.
I think I almost. I mean, hold on. Let me make a. You know, since this is getting bigger now, I had a folder I think before because we've gone over it, but I don't see it.
Building in the 8100 block of South Vernon.
Okay, 8100 South Vernon, Chicago. Yeah, we can tell by just looking at the building. It should be pretty obvious. I think that's the one right there. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so there's that.
That evening, Detective Svilar says she left in her car with a man they call a person of interest.
Yeah, let's see if we can figure out where that was from. And look at that, there's a door, a really unusual door over here.
left in her car with a man.
Yeah, something like this. And that should be like around her house, I would imagine. So it could be over here. Could be anywhere, I guess. Never did find that. I spent like another hour or so, and I actually, in that last night in the in that other case, trying to find the surveillance of where the guy was walking, I couldn't figure it out. I think it was just somewhere in the town. Had nothing. They just said that's eventually where he was seen, but surveillance found him somewhere else. You know, the surveillance could have picked him up, and I'd like to know where that was, because then we could say, wow, so he moved from here to here. So that's her home. Let me just back up a little bit here. And maybe she was able to park somewhere on the street. It seems like it has those little things, the ding, ding, ding. Except it's not, That looks like that could be, oh man, it's so close. I guess they're sort of similar here. See, there's like there's 3 windows, 1, 2, 3, and then that was kind of looking a little bit like one of these. I'm going to keep looking on each side. Oh, right there maybe. Oh, there it is. That's it. Oh, that was sweet. Look at that. Boom. See that? Bing, 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 bing. Slanted roof. 1, 2, 3, and then ding, ding, ding. See? Right there. Okay, so that was in the background. And it looks like it pulled out from right here. So there's a couple, just right down a little bit. So it probably pulled out from almost right where this car is, but probably right here is where that car pulled out from. So car pulls out, pulls out. And what time was that again?
Man they called the 100 block of South Vernon. That evening, Detective Svilar says she left in her car with a man they called a person of interest.
Is she driving or is the man?
She is driving.
They went to a 24-hour Walgreens at 8600 South Cottage Grove, and the security tape shows her with South Vernon. That evening, Detective Svilar says she left in her car with a man they called a person of interest.
Is she driving or is the man?
She is driving.
They went to a 24-hour Walgreens at 8600 South Cottage Grove, and the security tape shows her withdrawing hundreds of dollars from an ATM machine. Very unusual for Kierra, her mother says, especially at 10:43 on a Chicago night.
I don't understand why she'd be taking $400 out, because she real cautious with spending.
This was the last time Kierra Coles was ever seen. Police say the evidence shows the man drove her car back to her neighborhood alone and parked down the street before 11:45 that night and got out on the passenger side of the car.
Why would he get out of the passenger seat?
I can only speculate. It's not like you're opening a car into traffic. My speculation is he's staging the seat.
Perhaps sliding the driver's seat forward by hand to make it look like Kierra had been driving. Police say he then walked to another car parked nearby and drove away.
His car?
Yes.
Same person of interest?
Yes.
Though this is still officially a missing person case, Svilar is a homicide on a Chicago night.
I don't understand why she
shows her withdrawing hundreds of dollars from an ATM machine. Very unusual for Kierra, her mother says, especially at 10:43.
Yeah, so that was 10:43. That's at the Walgreens, right?
spree on a Chicago night.
I don't understand why she'd be taking $400 out, because she real cautious with spending.
This was the last time Kierra Coles was ever seen. Police say the evidence
Yeah, she's
shows the
kinda
man
like
drove
going
her car
like this.
back to her neighborhood
Just
alone
like this. See what
and
I'm
parked
doing?
down
Like,
the street
yeah.
before 11:45 that night.
She's with spending.
That's what she's
43
doing.
on a Chicago.
She's going like, you know, when people go like this, like they're, you know, like almost picking something or kind of nervous, like you're like, I don't know, yeah, like that. Got your finger sticking out. That's what she's doing.
Night.
I don't
Watch.
understand why
You'll
she'd
see
be
it.
taking $400
Now that I just told
out,
you.
because she real cautious with spending.
This was the last time Kierra Coles
So,
was ever seen.
right there.
Police
See,
say
that's
the
why her thumb's
evidence shows
sticking
the
out,
man
yeah.
drove her car back to her neighborhood alone and parked down the street before 11:45 that night and got out on the passenger side of the car.
Why would he get out of the passenger seat?
I can only speculate. It's not like you're opening a car into traffic. My speculation is he's staging the seat.
Perhaps sliding the driver's seat forward by hand to make it look like Kierra had been driving. Police say he then walked to another car parked nearby and drove away.
His car?
Yes.
Same person of interest.
Yes.
Though this is still officially a missing person case, Svilar is a homicide detective who's worked hundreds of murder cases since 1998.
Do you think whatever happened was over in less than 1 hour?
Yes. I think the last time we see Kierra, she is unfortunately not alive much longer after that.
Still, Svilar emphasizes there's always a chance Kierra could be alive. As for the person of interest, police say he returned to Kierra's apartment alone the next morning and left with some items in hand.
This person that we're referring to is not a stranger. This person has access to this apartment all the time. Is it unusual for him to go in there? No, it's not. In the totality of circumstances, considering what has happened probably the night before, yeah, that's a big deal.
Chicago police have never named the person of interest, but Kieran Phillips says he is Josh Simmons, Kierra's boyfriend and presumed father of her unborn child. NBC5 Investigates found no criminal history in his past.
Kieran Phillips reported her daughter missing the night after the ATM withdrawal and says she was there with Simmons as police searched the apartment.
Did you ask if he'd seen her?
Yeah, he said he hadn't seen her, but he'd been talking to her, which found out that was a lie.
He gave some conflicting accounts, wasn't consistent on some of his statements, and then didn't want to talk to us anymore.
Simmons soon moved out of state with the mother of some of his children. He did not respond to our written request for comment, mailed to his last known address in Louisiana.
What do you want to say to Josh Simmons?
I want to say that I know you know something. You know what happened. You don't know the pain that I feel not knowing what's going on with my child. And I wish you would come forward and tell us what really happened to Kierra.
If you have any information about the disappearance of Kierra Coles, contact Chicago Police at 833-408-0069 or 312-746-7330 or online at cpdtip.com.
Oh, man. That's wild. Seems like they should just be arresting the guy. I mean, they obviously are looking for him. He is the person, okay? He has direct knowledge of what happened to her. I mean, he's the one that drove her car back and parked it. He's the one that had her in, took her somewhere. I mean, so obviously, circumstantially, he absolutely knows what happened to her. There's no chance that he doesn't. So they need to go get him. But yeah, so I know it's a late show. It's not my normal show, but I hope we can try to make it sort of like one of our normal nights. So if you can help out the channel, that'd be great. If not, that's cool too. But we're getting close to the end of the month again. It seems like these months go by way too fast. So I'll be back here in a minute. I got to go use the facilities. Well, it's going to make me think twice about playing golf again. Let's see. Yeah. All right, let me get rid of that. Or I could just make it. That was maybe, maybe I just want. I'll make sure that I got my show in tonight. But we'll do like a. I don't know. Do a shorter one. Wait, what, from the music? Yeah. Oh yeah, remember we talked about this one night a long time ago? That was the lady that had like a homeless guy, and she raised like $400,000 from. I mean, it was really ridiculous.
Before being exposed as a hoax. Well, today, Kate McClure of the Three, whose philanthropic story rocketed to viral fame before being exposed as a hoax. Well, today, Kate McClure appeared before a federal judge to learn her sentence in that so-called GoFundMe scam. The victims here, many generous donors who thought they were helping out a homeless man. New Jersey correspondent Trish Hartman joining us live in Camden tonight. Trish, what punishment will McClure face now?
Well, Brian, she was sentenced to 12 months and 1 day in prison, followed by 3 years of probation and restitution. Now, this is a lighter sentence than was given to her ex-boyfriend, Mark D'Amico. He got 27 months in prison, and that is because prosecutors say McClure cooperated with investigators and agreed to testify against D'Amico if he had gone to trial. Kate McClure did not speak with us outside federal court in Camden after her sentencing for her role in the GoFundMe scheme that scammed donations from thousands of people. It started in late 2017 when Kate McClure and her then boyfriend, Mark D'Amico, started a GoFundMe for homeless veteran Johnny Bobbitt, claiming Bobbitt gave McClure his last $20 when she ran out of gas. The made-up story went viral, and 14,000 people donated more than $400,000. Today, McClure cried when the sentence of 12 months and 1 day plus 3 years probation was handed down. In a statement to the court, McClure apologized, saying, quote, "I had every intention of helping Johnny, and I never had any intentions of letting it get as far as it did." Judge Noel Hillman said, quote, "Even with charitable intent, Ms. McClure from the beginning until the end was a knowing participant." The couple used the money to go to Las Vegas casinos and the Grand Canyon and bought a BMW and a Louis Vuitton handbag. McClure's attorney said she was in an abusive relationship with D'Amico and said it was he who spent the majority of the money.
She tried to stop it. She tried to say, no, we can't do this. There were, as the judge said, there were texts back and forth where he's making promises that he's not going to do this anymore, that this isn't what's happening. So there's manipulation throughout.
The judge said while GoFundMe gave the donors their money back, he called those people voiceless in this case and said her sentence had to be harsh enough to deter other potential fraudsters. Now, McClure and D'Amico are scheduled to be sentenced on state charges next month.
But maybe she just wanted to be rich, you know, and how can we blame her, you know?
Bobbitt is expected to be sentenced here in federal court in the coming weeks. Reporting live in Camden, New Jersey, Trish Hartman, Channel 6, Action News. Brian?
Okay, Trish, thank you.
All right, and then there was another, this is from CC Moore was telling me about this. And by the way, I just heard back from Colleen regarding one of the cases that we've covered on here. And let's see. I don't know, it's hard to tell. It said something about, we might be able to do that one, but it'd be identifying hair, and it would just be like, you know, there was just a possibility in investigating the missing person case. They found in some basement a rope and hair and blood on a rope, and heard a girl's voice, like somebody, you know, screaming or something down in the basement. I can't remember. And it would be just testing a hair that was in the rope. So either way, it might turn into finding another person that was attacked or something, if it's not the one from that case. All right, then this is the one from Parabon just solved.
In continuing coverage, the chance of solving a 25-year-old investigation is extremely slim, but not impossible. TV6's Vinny Lavia takes a look at the cold case in Mackinac County that has new evidence.
Life was taken for no reason. The way it was done just makes it that much more heinous.
In 1997, an employee at Garnett Lake Campground in Hudson Township found an infant's remains in an outhouse. With limited DNA forensic evidence technology, former Mackinac County prosecutor Clayton Graham says law enforcement could only do so much about the baby Garnett case.
In this case, you know, of course, the technology didn't exist that exists today, so it was more of a boots on the ground type situation.
Mackinac County Sheriff Ed Wilk recalls officers interviewing registered campers and some living nearby, trying to pick up any lead they could.
As they did that and gathered evidence and sent it to the crime lab, there was nothing that really gave us any further direction to go, so eventually it went cold.
In 2017, the Mackinac County Sheriff's Office reopened the case. Wilkes says modern DNA forensic science technology allowed the FBI to analyze a baby bone from the original crime scene.
Once we had that DNA profile, that was a huge advancement. That's where the genealogy comes as far as family tree, because we had some names and sort of got a few in the area. We were eventually able to, find relatives of baby Garnett. And that obviously narrowed the scope.
Wilkes says this new evidence points towards the mother of baby Garnett as a prime suspect. The suspect was arrested in Wyoming last week. The 58-year-old woman is currently awaiting extradition back to Michigan before any case against her can start. An extradition hearing is scheduled for Thursday. Vinny Lavia, TV6 News.
Well, it looks like they're going to go after the mother. In the Kierra Coles case, we don't have a good enough timeline to know anything. I mean, they said that, yeah, she was over at the Walmart at 10:43 or whatever the hell that was. But, 10:43. But it doesn't say when that other car arrived back, nor does it say what time the car left the area. So there was the apartment right here. And then they went from there to the Walgreens here. And after they go to the Walgreens, we don't know what time his car got back there unless there's another, let's see. Yeah, so it doesn't have, I don't know if it has the timeline in here. It's almost the same wording. She entered her home, let's see, on October 2nd, 2018, Coles entered her home in the 8100 block of South Vernon Avenue. A man who detectives identified as a person of interest also entered the residence. The man later got into Coles' car with her in the driver's seat. Wait, let's see. Later got into Coles' car with her in the driver's seat and drove off. So just minutes later, Coles was seen on surveillance video making 2 ATM withdrawals at a Walgreens, so probably $600-700 at 8628 South Cottage Grove. Coles, who was 3 months pregnant, exited minutes later. Let's see. Withdrawal at Walgreens at 8628 Cottage Grove. Coles, who was 3 months pregnant, exited the store? Today's video making 2 ATM withdrawals at Walgreens. Coles, who was 3 months pregnant, exited later. After less than an hour, Coles' vehicle arrived in an area. So now we know that at 10 or 11 40, let's say, it's back. So that means, you could drive as far as, 25 minutes one way and 25 back. Yeah, from right here. So when you think things went down right when she got back to the car, and then from there, she lives here, so he probably want to go a different direction. You would think, like over here, and then back here. Then got in his car, and then maybe, I don't know where he lived in Louisiana, that right? What the hell was he doing there? Absolutely crazy. Ah, so that means that in 1 hour period, I don't know where they parked, but it was in the neighborhood somewhere. So, and what was the guy's name again?
Since October.
Simmons soon moved out of
conflicting accounts. Wasn't
that was a lie.
He gave some conflicting.
Reported her daughter missing the night after the ATM withdrawal and says she was there with Simmons as police searched the apartment.
Did you ask if he'd seen her?
So Simmons was there when they were searching the apartment.
Yeah, he said he hadn't seen her, but he'd been talking to her, which found out that was a lie.
He gave some conflicting accounts.
Okay.
Wasn't consistent on some of his statements, and then didn't want to talk to us anymore.
Simmons soon moved out of state with the mother of some of his children. He did not respond to our written request for comment, mailed to his last known address in Louisiana.
What do you want to say to Josh Simmons?
I want to say that I know you know something. You know what happened. You don't know the pain that I feel not knowing what's going on with my child. And I wish you would come forward and tell us what really happened to Kierra.
If you have any information about the disappearance of Kierra Coles, contact Chicago Police at 833-408-0069 or 312-746-7330 or online at cpdtip.com.
Maybe she thought she was withdrawing money for them, unaware. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Like something like, I got this crib. It costs like $700, but it's amazing. Oh, I can't wait to get, And then she goes in there and takes out the $700, but really at 10:45 at night. Like, why can't we go tomorrow to get the money? I don't know. It's really weird. Oh, I don't think the boyfriend was going to use it to pay off somebody to get rid of her. He probably just wanted to get the money. And then, he lived in Louisiana, I guess. So he probably killed her, dumped her, and, got rid of the baby threat for him. He doesn't want to ever have to take care of a baby, for God's sake. So then kills her and then also has $700 to get back home. Yeah, he wanted to make sure she wasn't on the surveillance footage as well in the Walmart. Was it just 400 total though? Seems like why would you need to withdraw twice? You can usually take out 300 per machine. I mean per withdrawal. I think it did say the amount though, didn't it? I saw that actually in the article, the 400. Let's see. Yeah, it doesn't say it on that one. Why did it take them so long to come out with this stuff? They've had this stuff forever. Oh, but why do you have to do two different withdrawals then? If it was her bank limit, couldn't she just taken 400 out on the first one? Because usually what it is per withdrawal there's a limit. Yeah, we covered this a long time ago, so I don't remember all the details. I mean, it's 4 years old at this point. So, 800. That's what Vale's saying. I mean, if you have a bank limit, that was allowed. Nah, forget it. Jeez. I don't, that's not my limit. I can do like 300 and something. That's, 200's never been mine. Alright. Everybody has some answer, but they're not all right. That's the thing. Yeah, so 400 was the bank limit, but I'm not sure what that even means. Per withdrawal, or the total she can take out in a day. Anyways, this is... You guys aren't... Nobody's talking. It's just, like, dead. So, I don't know. Let's see, what time is it? 10:24. Yeah, we don't know Sooner history if it's... Yeah, see, forget it. Okay, I don't want to talk about the ATM anymore. Who gives a shit, okay? What matters is she went in there to take money out, goes back to the car, and she disappeared. And he's the one that drove the car back. He's the one that had something to do with it. No, it's not exactly, Gail. When you say exactly, no, it's not true. I can take out way more than 200 per transaction. Okay, the mom said she took out 400. Okay, great. Fantastic. Let's see. I got a hole in once. I got a hole in one once. And my ex was furious with me. Yeah, I could see that happening. Like, if you don't play golf very much and you get a hole, it's like going bass fishing and, you know, you're somebody that's never even fished before and you catch a 10-pounder. And then the guy that's sitting there has been fishing for 20 years every single day and has never caught a 10-pounder. Is that fair? Yeah, so in golf, if somebody gets a hole in one and they're just you know, they barely play at all and they hit a ball and it rolls in and uses it spending, you know, that would suck. Right, well, he should be mad. How much do you play golf, WNC Granny, compared to him? All right, he has the right to be angry. Thank you. Anyways, you know what I was thinking about? Like, we had that show that we did last night. I thought it was pretty interesting. What do you guys think? Ah, shit. I was so hot. Oh, God. Get some ice. You know what's weird though? Is people texted the murder sheet going, Gray said this, hey, Gray. And then they say, Gray, you know, what's going on? What happened? What'd you say? And I said, I said what you said. You said that it's all on when we were talking, that it was all on their podcast. That's it. I don't know, man. It was just kind of it's just a whole weird thing. I'm kind of just tired of the whole thing, you know, like everybody whining because they didn't know something or somebody knew something. It's ridiculous, you know. I tell people stuff, you know, behind the scenes that I might have heard, And that's it, you know. Yeah, it was just kind of weird to get text messages from them like, hey, you know, so if they don't want to trust me or something like that, that's fine. I don't really give a shit at this point. I'm just tired of the whole, you know what I'm tired of? The entire Delphi community of people. You know, the YouTube community. It's just it's mind-boggling. It's sick. You know? And it's the same, and the thing is, it's like that in a lot of cases now. See, it used to be, here's the thing, you know, like, you know that one loudmouth YouTuber that's just an absolute wacko, was blowing the horns, you know, the bull horns and all that shit? Yeah, well, so, like, she's covering this tabloid case, and like, literally, she does 4 or 5 videos a day on this case. And has gotten like 20,000 subs in 2 weeks. You know, and I'm just never going to do that kind of thing. You know, if I get lucky that I happen to be covering a case that's big, that'd be great. But like 20-something thousand subs for a pile of crap. They don't know who they've got there. She's the most hypocritical person that's ever been on YouTube. I mean, just absolute liar. You listen to what she's saying now, like she's this really religious person. Really? You're the one running around? Forget it, man. It's just... Hey, thanks, Lorena Reyes. Yeah. Well, what sucks is, how come this guy hasn't been arrested yet in the Kierra Coles case? Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I get stuff from, you know, they don't, I mean, like, Kelsey and Becky and them haven't given me this crazy, you know, like, inside stuff. It's just sort of like, you know, just conversational, like, hey, you know, and, you know, you can read into something, and, I mean, every once in a while I've known something, but I don't, you know, I don't go out and say it, right? Now, in this case, what they told me was she told me, oh yeah, well, it's in her podcast and everything. So it was just, all I was saying was that the sources are interested in Tony Klein. I mean, that's it, right? What the hell's wrong with saying that? I mean, of course they're interested in Tony Klein, right? But then it was like, Grace said, ooh. I'm not talking about that one, Blaze. It's the other loudmouth idiot. Just an absolute nothing of value that people just go. It's just, see, the problem is it's people like drama more. They like drama and what do you call it? The sensationalism. It sells. People want to sit there and be entertained and watch it. That's it. That's all you get from it. I don't even, that person's a nobody though on YouTube, Blaze. I'm talking about this other one. Yeah. So like that case that I'm talking about is just this crazy case where, you know, some Marine or somebody was fed crazy food and it looked like maybe he tried to kill himself, but was it really? But it's really, it turned in, it's just a total tabloid case. Like everybody, I can't even explain it to you. You'd have to, I don't even want you to watch it though, because it's ludicrous. It's not being taken, it's not serious the way they're doing it. They're even doing the little battles between who's, you know, this person and this one. I don't know if they got run off. You can just turn the comments off on YouTube. Hey, thanks, S-Jab. They're pretty sure none of us said anything. Who are you talking to? Tawny Lee? I don't even know what you're talking about right there. We had under 200 people in here. Pretty sure none of us said anything. What are you talking about? Yeah, but who cares, Blaze? I mean, why does anybody follow that stuff? It's just such a ridiculous case. It's not even... It's just a sensationalistic tabloid case, and that's why it's big. And the crazy part is now that I forget it. I'm not going to go there. No, there wasn't only 200 when I did that show. There was 500 and something, but it doesn't really matter. It's it just means somebody watching was like, "Guy murder sheet. How come you?" What are you confused about, Cindy Lee? Anyways, the phone lines are open if anybody wants to call in to talk about any of the stuff that we've talked about, like even last night's show, because by the time it was over, going through all those different things, you'd almost think that, man, they could almost go to court against Kagan, mainly because, you know, he's the one using it. But they don't believe it is that he's the one that is using the Anthony Shots account, being Emily Ann, all the time. That there's two different people. Yeah, it's just you don't have to worry about the case. You know, you're not gonna. It's not gonna be. It's just an absolute, and the reason it's popular is because there's a lot of videos that this lady makes, and it's obvious that she's, you know, it sort of feels like a Munchausen kind of by proxy situation, maybe, but at the same time, it's in a place right now where you don't want to be anywhere near it. The people that are covering it. I don't know what you mean. I don't like saying other people's names, so I don't say it. You'd have to just know. Oh, you call him a cave troll now? S-Jab? Well, good. He does look like a cave troll. 100%. Well, you can steal that from me, you know. The cave troll. I'm just reading comments. When you say, who are we talking about? Like, which part? There's a case out there where there's a Marine, and he has a wife, and she's got like YouTube channels or like Facebook page, and she sells this crazy sort of, I don't know, like herbal diet or whatever the hell it is, and it's really not a healthy thing at all. And then this Marine that was nice and healthy got kind of skinny, and he ends up like trying to kill himself, it sounds like, and he's brain dead right now in the hospital. And you know, she's out there still doing her little shows, you know, like, hey everybody, buy the, you know, while he's sitting in the, so that's what makes it sensationalistic. It allows somebody to hate somebody. Like, you can just sit there and just hate and hate and hate. Oh my God, I would do, and it's just that there's nothing. It's not an interesting case, you know. There's nothing interesting in terms of trying to figure something out. It's just a weird situation. It's obvious. You know, it's not like something you got to really sit there and sleuth out. Well, good, Loretta. I always get bummed out when I go to like just a channel that I consider to be just poor, and I see a freak in there interacting and communicating like it's just great. Yeah, I don't know why. It just does. It makes me feel like, oh my God. So when I'm not on, you're willing to like drop to that, stoop that low? Are you kidding? You know, but if I saw you like on, you know, John Lorden show or something like that, I wouldn't think that way. But it's just some of these other people, man. Wow. Okay, now it's not burning anymore. I don't know if they're mad at me or not. And to be honest with you, I don't really care because, you know, she's the one that said, "Oh yeah, it's all in the podcast," or the podcast. And you know, I've promoted them quite a bit, right? But they seem to always avoid saying my name on any, you know, like any show or anything that they've got, right? So, you know, I compliment them all the time. They've been on my show. I tell people to go watch it, do this and that and the other thing. And you know, if you're gonna get mad because I said something you didn't want me to say, or somebody told you I said something you didn't want to say, but then it turns out I didn't say something you know. I just don't want to deal. I just don't have time for that garbage. It's a total waste of time. Hey, you're going to go to sleep, WNC Granny? Hold on, don't go to sleep yet. Oh yeah, WNC Granny. Make sure to get to hear a little bit of that just before you go to bed. I know it's one of your favorite songs. One that you've requested 1,000 times. Yes, you, WNC Granny. You have yourself a great night's sleep, all right? Oh yes, WNC Granny. This just happens to be WNC Granny's favorite song. She told us all that on one of the shows we did just the other night. I think she must have just taken off. Thought she'd listen for a minute. I think she hates it, Cindy Lee, and that's why I'm doing it. I wonder what aliens think of music. They come down here and they... What the hell is that? Welcome, S-Jab, to Oogla Boogla Freaks. Kind of tastes like great music. Yeah. I like, I don't know, I like classic rock and then, you know, 80s music. I like classical. You know, for me though, I'm sort of a song by song person. Like a lot of times I don't like a band for the sake of liking a band, you know. But, you know, someone like Jim Croce, who basically... You know what's amazing about Jim Croce is he wrote, you know, all those songs that you hear all the time? Like Operator, I Have to Say I Love You in a Song, Bad Bad Leroy Brown, his best song he ever wrote was Time in a Bottle. Like all of those right there, he did those in, I think it was a week. And he just sat there and wrote them all down, and he had this incredible album. And he wrote them all just like bing, 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 and he never even got a chance to be. I mean, it's amazing how famous he is from just that. He never even got to realize that he was famous. I think he died before he was really like famous. And he hated flying planes, and that's how he died. Imagine how scary that was for him. Yeah, some really short amount of time. Yeah, they're incredible. Like, I have to say, I Love You in a Song is so amazing. You know how he wrote that one? Like, he was just sitting there and, I don't know, maybe they got in an argument or something, but it just, at night, at a kitchen table, he wrote that song for her to get up in the morning. It's like the greatest freaking song ever. And then Time in a Bottle, man, that one's Time in a Bottle to me is right up there with like Yesterday from the Beatles. I mean, yeah, it's just a perfect song. Here's what I would say. I say Sound of Silence, Yesterday, and Time in a Bottle. They're all kind of in this little realm of like perfectness. Let's see. Yeah, he died before he even became famous. I think all those songs came out after that. I mean, they were all out, but it wasn't like realized. Yeah, it was amazing. Even as a kid, I was moved, but yeah. I mean, Leroy Brown's just kind of more fun. It's not the greatest, you know. I like songs that have like a really good, unique sort of melody with a. I like harmony a lot. That's why I love Simon and Garfunkel. They're just so. I mean, their voices were so perfect together. I don't know if it's exactly like in 1 week, but it was a really short period of time where he wrote all of them. All the really famous ones. Let's see. I'm just reading something on Wikipedia to see if there's something in there. I guess he was on American Bandstand. The United States with performing large coffee houses. I don't know. Somebody could go find that, but I've seen it like a few different times, all just in a really short amount of time. I just can't find where it's referencing that now. Oh yeah, so what's that one? Hold on. Second. From July 16th through August 4th, Croce returned to London to perform, where they sang Lover's Cross, Working at the Car Wash, Blues, from the upcoming album. Croce finished recording the album just a week before his death. While on tour, he grew increasingly homesick and decided to take a break from music and settle with Ingrid and AJ. In a letter to Ingrid, which arrived after his death, Croce told her he had decided to quit music and stick to writing short stories and movie scripts as a career and withdraw from public life. Wow, that's crazy. He probably wasn't going to do it. He wanted her to say, no, stick with it, man. You're really good. He was only 30 years old. I mean, isn't that just ridiculous? How much more he would have done? 30 years old. All right, should we do a stint at newspaper? Let's find let's try to find something that's, let's see, from 1960 to 1970, and it's gonna like an unsolved case. Oh, was it 10 days? Where was that? I knew it was a short period of time. Isn't that ridiculous? I mean, to write like all of those are top 10 songs. You know, they're like ridiculous. Yeah, there you go. Look at that. So sitting at the kitchen table, he wrote in just 10 days, Time in a Bottle, You Don't Mess Around with Jim, New York's Not My Home, Photographs and Memories, and Operator. I mean, those are freaking amazing. Like, every one of those songs is a good one. Oh, yeah, that's right. That's the one where he says, you don't spit on Superman's cape, you don't piss into the wind. You don't pull the mask off Old Lone Ranger, and you don't mess around with Jim. There you go. Yeah, New York's Not My Home is a really cool song. Photographs and Memories is really good. I mean, really pretty. You guys have heard that one, right? Yeah, let's see. Maybe I can play a few notes. It doesn't really matter. I never get monetized anyways. There it is. There it is, man. Listen, there it is.
Photographs and memories, Christmas cards you sent to me, all that I have are these to remember you. Memories that come at night.
Isn't that amazing?
Take me to another time, back to a happier day, when I called you mine. But we sure had a good time when we started way back when. Morning walks and bedroom talks, oh how I loved you then.
Yeah, man, those are awesome. And then what was the other one? Let's see, it was, let's see. That's why coming out of the one side. Again, out of the one side. Maybe it goes both in a second. Oh, it does.
Well, I know it's kinda late.
You guys have heard this one before, right?
I hope I didn't wake you. But what I've gotta say can't wait.
He wrote this just sitting there at the table
I know
again.
you'd understand. Every time I tried to tell you, the words just came out wrong. So I have to say I love you in a song.
Yeah, see, he couldn't sing, you know, he couldn't say it out in his own voice, so he said, well, I'll just tell you that I love you in a song, because I can't do it. Hold that one. Oh, there goes my audio again.
Operator, or could you help me place this call? See, the number on the matchbook is old and faded. She's living in LA with my best
Grace is
old
only 30 years
friend
old.
Reck.
Just,
She said she knew well and sometimes hated. Isn't that the way they say it goes? Well, let's forget all that and give me the number if you can find it, so I can call just to tell them I'm fine and to show.
anyways, I don't know, man. That guy was incredible. Love that guy. Anyways, man, here he is right there. You know, just a, you know, he just looks like a dude that can play guitar, and he knew what the hell he was doing. You know. Ugh. Actually, it always makes me sad listening to that, because you always just think, man, he has a wife, kid, you know, and he's sitting in this sort of a, not even the greatest house, you know, just writing the music, and he dies. I never even got to realize how awesome he was, you know. Like, I guarantee it, he wouldn't have gone back to writing. He would have written kids' books. Probably would have been able to write his own schedule and done whatever the hell he wanted to do, whenever the hell he wanted to do it, because they were so good. So, anyways, that's all I just thought it just went on a little sidetrack right there. Now it's kind of late. Oh, that's one of the words in the song. I know it's kind of late. Yeah. Oh, you know what? Another song that I think is really cool. It's not him though. I think it's a Crosby. Maybe it's Crosby, Stills, and Nash. But this one here. See, I love the harmony. Right? Like this one. Let's see. I think this is him. Here we go.
Let's hear a song you might have heard.
Look how
on the
good these
radio.
guys. Look how great this is. Wow.
Yes, sir. It's about a lot of money.
Everybody likes this one, right?
Look around me, I can see my life before me.
One of the perfect songs.
Rings around the way it used to be. I am older now. I have more than what I wanted, but I wish that I had started long before I did. And there's so much time to make up everywhere you turn.
Yeah, just love those. I always get chills listening to those because they're so perfect. Yeah, Cat Stevens said that really good. I made a community post. Yeah, that one's awesome. Yeah, me too. Vale, exact same thing. You know, it's weird how, look, I think the artists were so much better back then. Like, they actually gave a shit about music, you know, they really just, I don't know, man. You see these now, they got the synthesizer thing on the voice, and it's just, everything's the same, kind of. Yeah, there's a few really good ones out there that it's new, but it just seems more contrived at this point. Yeah, Cat Stevens is really good. There's a community post with that one. I forgot the name of that song. What's the one? Let's see. Oh yeah, it's the Wild World.
I'd like to sing a song now.
And this one's really good. I like just the way it sounds. See?
La 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 la. Now that I've lost everything to you, say you wanna start something new, and it's breaking my heart you're leaving. Baby, I'm grieving, but if you wanna leave, take good care. Hope you have a lot of nice things to wear, but then a lot of nice things turn bad out there. Oh, baby, baby, it's a wild world. It's hard to get by just upon a smile. Oh, baby, baby, it's a wild world, and I'll always remember you like a child girl. You know I've seen a lot of what the world can do.
Anyways, I'm gonna play the whole thing because it's not mine. But anyways, those are pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. That's right. I love just playing that really loud and singing along, you know. Alright. Alright, you guys want to do the newspapers game? Alright. The super chats, get the preferences, because we're on one of those crappy nights. I know it's like because it's late and I'm on here, but you know, it is what it is. Makes me then think I can't play golf again. Ready? So type it in. It has to be super chats, right? Okay, Zozo. This is one of the songs that mean so much back in the day. And still, yeah. It's a good one. Yeah. I'd like to try to find, okay, I got it from 1960 to 1970. Try to find something that's like really, you know, something, you know, I like to always find the ones that aren't solved, ones that I could actually do a show on at some point. It's not hard for me to find them, but it'd be cool if you guys could. Had to put Pandora. Yeah, it's probably really late. What time? It was like 2 o'clock on the East Coast. Wow. I think Cat Stevens was the one that. Hey, did you hear what I said, Zozo? It's for the super chats. That's what we're doing. The Cat Stevens, he wrote the words for Harold and Maude, all the songs in that one, I think. What happened, Lena? Well, I guess we'll wait for... if there's 5-minute gaps, we're not going to do it. PT in the morning, all right. Man, I'd never do that. They always try to get me, hey, can you come at 8? No, I'm still sleeping. I mean, how about you... I'd like to go in at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Thank you. That sounds like just a contrived one, Bobby. Yeah, and one of the ones that she likes to type in. Man's head stuck in a blender. Alright. Okay, everybody. Well, we did a show. We got some updates in. We did the rambling chat for a while. That's cool. But at least I didn't miss out on a show tonight, right? I made it in. You know, even though I played golf. Crazy day of golf. 6 double bogeys. And it was even on all the other holes. Really weird. Something that you don't see very often. It looks like everybody's sleeping anyways. So, alright. So thank you to Eugenie, Jessica Schubach, The Velvet Army, Cindy Leon, MM, Tawny Lee, Liz Marie, Cindy Leon, Vale, WNC Granny, Loretta Reyes, S-Jab, and thanks for joining S-Jab. Very cool. Alright, you guys. Well, thank you all for being here. We got the show in. And I guess we'll see you guys. Let's see. Well, we'll see you tomorrow. I'm not really sure what I'll be doing, but I'll probably have more prepared stuff. Today I started to get the updates, and I was like, well, maybe you'll want to talk about the topic from last night, but you know, it's not really. So, all right, everybody. Thank you all very much for being here. We'll see you guys tomorrow, and as I always say, everybody, until next time, be safe out there. And a 2 and a 3 and a... Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person that is a crime dissector, flag rejector. I'm a certified human lie detector. Gonna get ya on a stretcher if you try to do that now. Do I have to do the damn crime sector? Is my nectar. Professor Greg is gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector, and I'm a... Alright, so now that she did it, I have to do this one. Okay, hold on. I don't want it to be... there we go. I don't see it. Man killed kitchen sink. Wow, how do you kill a sink? How about man killed by garbage disposal? Yeah, poor me. I know, it's like... Yeah, I didn't think that had a very good chance. No, doesn't exist. Here, let me put quotes around it. No. Well, hey, the show was over, but then Zozo sent in the one from before. Man, it's like pulling teeth. Yeah, I'm just gonna think of one now. let's see. I don't know. Well, I was just about to end the play because nobody was playing Zozo, and I don't really have anything else to do tonight, so, you know. But it's just, like, the game is really meant to help, you know, like, help the super chats out and do something where we can find a case for later. You know, that's what it's really kind of about. You know, it's, yeah, at least it gives people something to look up, and I mean, everybody knows that that's what we're doing. We use it for. Yeah, we don't. I don't do ones just randomly typed in. Are we there yet? What does that mean? Yeah, we've done the wood chipper one before. What does that mean? Are we there yet? What does that mean? I don't get it. Is that girl code? Okay, I'm going to type in wood chipper death. And if it doesn't have those words, I'm not altering it. Okay, it's not going to change. I'm not altering it to help out or anything. It's just going to be wood chipper death. What? What does this mean right here? It says, ban on wood chipper deaths is rejected. We want wood chipper deaths! Lawmakers on the Assembly Agriculture Committee on Wednesday rejected an effort by animal rights activists to ban the killing of farm animals by using the chipping machinery. That's sick. Do people actually do that? Oh, man. A man allegedly tried to kill his girlfriend by pulling her into a wood chipper in an attempted murder-suicide Wednesday. The man died in the machine. Oh, man. His last sights were her escaping him. Phoenix police said Rafael Rodriguez apparently asked Lucia Lopez, 28, to marry him. She accepted his proposal, but then he said he wanted to show her something, police said. They went to the landscaping business where Rodriguez worked, and Lopez said Rodriguez told her to close her eyes and to lay down on the conveyor belt of a wood chipper. She said he started the machine and then jumped on the conveyor belt with her. The wood chipper automatically stopped. Rodriguez, who suffered head and arm injuries, died at the scene. Yeah. Oh boy, Vale. That's yeah, I don't think so. Inside of a sculpture. It was really the actual body with a little plaster Paris on the outside. A Paris, or whatever the hell the term. Artist hides. There we go. And no. Almost like Pompeii, right? Like the bodies inside, body inside sculpture. That's a movie. You see? I think you've been watching too many movies. Vale. A little too many movies, alright? Yeah, with the bound and gag one we've typed in 100 times, but you probably type in unsolved, bound, and gagged. Those are usually going to be some sort of a... I'm going to put back in my date. Oops. What are these? Few of Dade's gang killings solved. Dolores Castillo, bound, gagged, and shot to the head in the bedroom of her plush Keystone Isle home. Man, these are all like gang shootings. 1974. Who killed these people? Oh, there it is, Mrs. Castillo. I'm going to check that one out. The murder, or who murdered, oh wait, not who murdered, just Dolores Castillo murdered. That's not in there. Murder on a passenger train. Yeah. Probably a few of those, I'm sure. Yeah, Zozos are always put in mainly for laughs. You know, the one up above, the second one, the unsolved bound and gag, there's millions of those, so. A 46-year-old Orlando woman was bound, gagged, and burned with cigarettes Monday by two men who searched her home for valuables. Alright, what is this one? Murder on a passenger train. That looks like that's a show. Yep, that's a show. Murder on the Orient Express. Oh, here's one. 1857. Attempt to murder a passenger in a train on the North London Railway. That's 1944. Man teeth? Why do you have a dash in there after man? There's no way that's showing that. See, what Zozo tries to get you to see is what she thinks in her mind. You get what I'm saying? Like, she wants you to realize that she thought up those things. Oh, let's see. Right here. What is this one? Vultures pluck bones of Austin. Let's see. Taken from the officers who brought it, and the body was taken from the officers who brought it, and the head and fingers and toes were cut off. Members of the mob took the bits of flesh for mementos. What is this thing? This is 1913. We're talking about mob is like the mob of vultures, right? A lot of weird stuff used to happen. I wouldn't doubt it, Zozo. I wouldn't doubt it at all. Body found was buried alive. Hey, just the word buried alive would work, right? Well, no, let's see. You type it, put the word like murder and then body buried alive. Says she was drugged and buried alive by a Mexican. This is 1920. Like, look how cool that picture is, right? Like, it's just weird, you know? Like, that looks way better than... Doesn't even look real. It looks like a Norman Rockwell type situation. Man, I was already to the closing of the show. Now we're back in. I used to do these things. We had this in, when I went to the Art Institute. We had to do stuff where you kind of try to, you almost try to like colorize something. Like you have to go in and all right, that's right. What's it doing? What do you mean you can't do that? Oh. That's funny. Yeah, I mean, it's not the greatest color, but you see how that already, like if you just kind of squint your eyes and it almost has a color look to it now, right? Especially on the screen over here. It's not as orange as this one in the middle. But just, I mean, that took like 2 seconds, and if you got the right tone in there and then could sort of mess around with his hair, he'd probably have something that looked pretty close to what he could have looked like. Let's see. I don't know about that one, Dale. There's probably a few out there, but I don't see the arms and legs of a child found in the woods. Yeah. But what they usually just say is like body parts found in woods, right? And then you would, and they're not as specific as you like to type in a lot of times. And look at right here, baby body parts found in woods. Yeah, that's almost probably exactly what you were trying to get to there. 1988. Let's see. Residents and law enforcement remain shocked Tuesday by the kidnapping and brutal slaying of a 7-month-old Amber Marie Hayes last week. A Muscatine man, Leslie Ray Brockert, 28, the live-in boyfriend of the girl's mother, was charged here Tuesday with first-degree kidnapping. The charge came after parts of the girl's dismembered body were discovered by 2 youths Sunday in a wooded area of Louisa County, south of Muscatine. The baby's head and legs were discovered there. Authorities discontinued search efforts Tuesday. What the hell happened? The bizarre story began at 1:30 a.m. last Thursday when Amber's mother, Mary Hayes, returned home from an evening out and discovered the baby missing. Wow. She asked Brockert, who was left in charge of the child, what had happened to Amber. Oh man, so he was sitting there at home, and that was a live-in boyfriend, and she said, well, what happened to my baby? And he said the baby was already gone at that point. When the mother asked about her, Brockert left. Hayes said in a telephone call to a Muscatine radio station Tuesday that she demanded to know where Amber was when she returned home early last Thursday. I said, where's my baby? And I was crying and hysterical like any other mother, and he said, I'd like to talk about us first. Hayes said, those were his exact words. Brockert later told Hayes someone else had taken the baby. He refused to say who, and she attempted to drive him to the Muscatine police station. He fled again during the trip and later was picked up by authorities here. Mary Hayes and her estranged husband, Terry Hayes, kept a weekend vigil here in hope the baby would be located alive. That is, what a freaking monster, huh? Police searching in the woods Friday did not locate a torso near the area where they had found individual wrapped arms, legs, and feet and hands the previous day. Investigators did find some clothing, but did not know if it belonged to the dismembered body. Police concluded that animals may have gotten to the torso. The body parts were found in woods at Hartford Place and Hartford Avenue, which is 70 yards from where the head of a man was found in a garbage bag on April 29. Police did not search the woods until Thursday because they initially assumed the head belonged to a decapitated body found in Twiggs County near Macomb. And in all, the body parts in Atlanta were in 8 garbage bags. The dismembered dead man has not been identified. Hey, thank you very much, Aussie Trisha. Good day, mate. You get 89,000. That's me highest score, mate. Oh yeah, that's perfect accent. I'm gonna put back in the date. Thanks, Aussie Trisha. Vale, Zozo. Body found wrapped in carpet. Unsolved. Yeah. A 23-year-old woman whose partially clothed body was found wrapped in a carpet and dumped in a dumped in a garage, died of a gunshot wound to the head. Let me put the Jeez, look at all these people again. There's just so many murders out there, it's ridiculous. What's a way just to some way to refer to a type of a homicide that would be like, wow, I was thinking one of the words I typed in earlier was something like shocking murder, or the shocking unsolved murder. That's how they would word something, or the barbaric, just some crazy thing. The way an adjective that would be describing something that would be, maybe like something like unsolved, sophisticated murder. Is that going to be somewhere? There's a lot of unsolved murders I don't see. Let's see. Maybe it says it in the article. Well, look at another. Oh, Henry Lee Lucas. No. Anytime I see his name, you move right off of it. Yeah, I did Horrifying another time. I'll do it again, though. Horrific. I was trying to look kind of familiar actress, I guess. Another shrimp on the Barbie, yeah. Yeah, well, it really was a shocker. It was a real ripper. A real ripper, right? G'day, mate. How about that? G'day, mate. That better? Just kind of more natural. G'day, mate. I got 149,000, mate. That's me on your skull. Peanut butter and jam sandwich. Yeah, it's getting kind of late. But I didn't want to wake you. Found wrapped in carpet. I think I already tried that one, right? Or is that a new one? Body. Yeah, I already did that one, right? Oh, that's like now. That's the Ukrainian thing. Yeah. Am I sunburned? You sure? Oh. Let me see. Probably type in dismembered nude body. And if you, especially if you say woman, because those are psychos. When it's a man, it's always like a gang thing. This is 19... Wow, this is... Slippers, bag, clues in the murder case. August 15th. Dust-covered files of missing persons were scanned today for a solution of a year-old mystery. The slaying of an unidentified woman whose nude, dismembered body was found in a roadside thicket. God, wouldn't that be crazy if that one's still out there? A wedding ring, a pair of slippers, and a dark green leather bag were the clues police had to work on. The slippers bore the label of a Boston store. The wedding ring was inscribed LD to LPB. That's pretty interesting. Those two clues formed the nucleus of an investigation in Boston, where the Bureau of Missing Persons searched months-old files for an entry that might coincide with the ring inscription. The woman's body was found yesterday by a passerby in a thicket off Cock Hill Road. This is in Massachusetts again, by the way. Well, I'm going to have to store this one somewhere. See whatever happened to that. Wouldn't that be crazy? Wouldn't that be a fun one? Like if she's actually still out there, unidentified after all this time. Well, it continues actually on the second page, so I'm going to have to go to that. August 15th, 1933, not 34. That's fun. Oh, page 10. Okay. That's there it is. Unidentified. Probably the husband, wouldn't you think? I think that'd be the coolest one that we could ever do, is just randomly stumble upon a case that nobody is even talking about at all. Yeah, so the second part of it said, in order of the body taken to the exterior, the victim was about 30 years old, had dark hair, worn in a boyish bob, and the upper teeth were false. Wow. The body had lain in the roadside thicket about a year. The head had been severed and lay several feet from the torso. Arms and legs had been removed as if by a hacksaw. There was a wound in the left thigh, which authorities believe might have been caused by gunfire. Sheriff Salem Spinney of Rockingham County offered the opinion that the body had been hurled piece by piece from an automobile. Jesus. That's wild. Autopsy hunts death clue in nude woman's murder. Kings County Hospital was the scene today for an autopsy intended to determine whether strangulation, poisoning, or wounds caused by the death of the woman whose nude, dismembered body was found in two, let's see, what is that, vases maybe? In adjacent lockers at the Long Island Railroad Depot. After the autopsy, police announced they will reassemble the body and recompose the features, photograph the results, and distribute the photos throughout the country. Wow, how great would that be, huh? Although I agree with that. Detectives led by high police officials were proceeding with a paucity of clues. The trail was a cold one, as the lockers had not been checked in more than a week, so the murderer had ample time to escape. Meanwhile, it was announced that 6 sleuths work on the case. Meanwhile, it was announced at Brooklyn Police Headquarters that 6 detectives had been assigned to the case. The detectives worked on the clue. Let's see, what was it? They were making an exhaustive check on the missing person files and were examining the... What's a vallus? I mean, I'm confused. My brain isn't working. That's a small traveling bag. Huh, okay. Police today alerted all foot patrolmen, radio prowl cars, sanitation department workers. The upper half of the body was first discovered in a suitcase in a locker. I'll have to do that one too. Check that one out. Well, anyway, I'm about to pass out because I'm so tired. Yeah, I know it says reassemble, Mike. I read it, Mike. Did you hear me say it, Mike? All right, everybody. Well, thank you guys for being here. Really appreciate it. Thank everybody already, and thanks everybody for playing the game there. We'll see you guys tomorrow. And as I always say, everybody, you know what's funny, Mike, is I said reassemble like literally 4 seconds after I said it wrong. So what are you sitting there with your hands just sitting on the keyboard so you can type it in as fast as possible? That was some weird shit there, Mike. I got to be honest with you. All right, so we'll see you guys tomorrow. And as I always say, everybody, until next time, be safe out there. And a 2, and a 3, and a 4, and a... Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person that is a...
Crime dissector, the reject the great reassemble, Grant.
I said that there.
I know, but I wanted to say that I knew it before you could even say it.
Like an old projector. All right, good stuff. Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Greg is gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector, and I'm always gonna be a pop protector. Fool deflector, interceptor, and I mean a... Yes, this is really good night. This is really good night. With all respect, y'all. Just remember, I've a temple fucking check ya. I have no agenda. Wow, we got 2 hours and 43 minutes in anyway. And I'll serve it to you straight without a blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender. Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. All right, everybody? All right, everybody. Thank you.
Good night, everybody. Gee. Gray. And Gray, it's reassemble, okay, guy.
I said that though.
I know, but you didn't say it for more than 4 seconds.
Okay, well next time I'll be even quicker. But man, there's some people that are really quick with those keyboards, man. They've got their hand and it's like, Mark, it's like, go! Oh, I got Cray before he could, you know. It's wild, wild stuff. All right, everybody, good night.
Wow, Gray, that was weird.
Look in the mirror, look in the mirror.
Gosh, Gray, what does that mean?